Hello, I'm Toby Pasman. Today we're going to be taking a look at a train that was made by Hit Toy Company, a remote-controlled Thomas the Tank Engine. Now, before we get to the details on this engine, I will mention a brief history on Thomas the Tank Engine. Well, basically, as many of you Thomas fans know, this series was created by the Reverend W. Audrey. He had the storybook series of these trains that talk, and in the 1990s, a woman named Britt Allcroft brought Thomas the Tank Engine and his friends to America for children of all ages. And now, Thomas the Tank Engine is popular through toys, books, videos, and television. And as you may of you know, Thomas and Friends is in their 18th season, I think. Okay, enough chit-chat about the history. Now let's get to the features on this engine. Now this basically is a remote control train. What that means is that it's powered by a remote control, not by its battery itself, like my other Trackmaster and Tomy engines. Basically, this train, like I said earlier, is powered by a remote control. And under the hood, there's an infrared sensor in the engine. And the sensor picks up the sensor in the remote, and that makes the engine move. And the battery compartment is in the boxcar that's attached behind the engine. Now, on the engine itself, as you can see, it has an 060 wheel arrangement. What that means is there are no wheels on the pilot or on the back, but there is a set of 6 drive wheels, which makes this an 060. Okay, we're going to start the details by looking at the pilot of the engine. Now, as you can see, there are details in here. Got nicely painted buffers here. Nicely detailed coupler hook, which is painted. It's painted gray, but the buffers are painted black. And you got a headlamp here, which is painted white, and you got 2 lamp irons, one here and one here, and they are painted gray. Up on the front of the boiler, as you can see, it's got a face instead of a smoke box door, like all the other Thomas characters. And you can see you got the eyes and the eyebrows and the nose and the mouth right here. And the face, in my opinion, is the most detailed that I've seen on a Thomas engine like this. And you got the triangle-shaped eyebrows, which are typical on Thomas. And you got a circle-shaped nose, which is typical on some of his friends, including Thomas himself, right here. Moving back, you can see there are more details here. And you can see the walkways on either side of the engine are painted white. The walkways on all my other Tomy and Trackmaster engines are plain red. They're not painted white like this, which I find really cool. It makes them more realistic that way. And you got a nice wheel well here. And you got a number 1 right here. Got a nice detail in the cab windows here. You got a nicely done cab front here with the cab windows and the double tone whistle, which is what Thomas has. You got nicely painted stripes here. And you got a nice looking dome here and a nice looking funnel right here, which is a nice touch. And you got the holes for the coal bunker here, which is a nice touch. Moving down to the wheels, you can see they're detailed, and the rods are really cool, and they're really cool in action, when you'll see that in action in a few minutes. But as you can see, the rod is typical for most Tomy and Trackmaster steam engines like Thomas here. Here's a look at the back of the engine. You got a realistic looking coal load right here. And right here is the switch that turns on the motor on the engine. And you got a nicely done backup light here. You got nicely done buffers right here, which are painted black, just like the buffers on the front of the engine. And right here you got the connection to the boxcar, which has the battery compartment in it. And right here is the tether wire that runs from the battery compartment in the boxcar to the motor in the engine. Now here is the boxcar, which contains the battery compartment. And the battery compartment contains a few batteries. I haven't looked in the battery compartment to see what kind of batteries this takes yet, but I'll find out after I'm done with this video. And you got the wires here, which connect to the engine, as well as the connection here that connects to the boxcar to the engine. You got nice detailed sides here, nice detailed front here, and as well as on the other end. And the other side of this is the same as this side right here. On the underside of the engine, you can see there isn't very much to see here. But right here you got the 2 traction tires on the rear set of drivers here. And right here is a notch for the engine to stop at different destinations that they've made to help stop the trains to pick up the loads. Here's the remote control that controls the train. Now as you can see, this right here controls the movement of the train. You push it this way to make it go forward, and you push it this way to make it go backwards. And on the front here, you can see there are 2 buttons. This one right here sounds the whistle, and this one sounds the theme song for the show. Well, it's kind of old now. It's kind of different now. But, yeah, here's the remote. And in this segment of the video, you guessed it, I'm doing a compare and contrast scene here between my remote control Thomas and my latest Trackmaster Thomas right here, which I got in a starter set. Now, as you can see, there are some similarities and some differences. For instance, one difference you can see is the color of the walkway. Now, as I said earlier, on most of my Thomas and Tommy and Trackmaster engines like this, the walkways were just plain red. But on this, the walkway is white, which I find a nice touch. And one similarity is the red stripes. Another difference you can see is how the face looks. The face on this Thomas right here looks kind of flat, but on my remote controlled Thomas, the face looks more realistic, which I find really cool. And another difference is the cab window fronts are different. This one is partially black, and this one has the cab windows completely black. And another difference is the size of the switch. As you can see, the switch here on this one is small, and this one is big. Okay, the last thing we're going to do before we get this train fired up, you guessed it, is BFIMO. Best feature in my opinion. Now, in my opinion, the best feature is practically a no-brainer. It's the detail here on the front here, with the walkways being painted white and the lamp irons being gray and the connector hook being gray. And that is best feature in my opinion on this. Okay, now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the review video, the running session. Now before I do that, I have to turn on the remote and the engine. Now, right here is the on-off switch for the remote. And you can see it's on the off position right now, but if you switch it this way, it's on now. And to turn the engine on, you can see there's an on-off switch on the top of the cab, like on most Trackmaster engines. And you just turn it on, like that. here's the whistle, which is basically Thomas's whistle. Now, here's forward. As you heard, it hisses to let you know that it stopped. And now we go backward. Now before I get it moving, I'd have to couple it to the train. And for those of you who are new to this, here's how you connect the cars to the engine. You just bring the cars up to the engine, and then you make sure that this part of the hook goes into the hole on the back of the engine here. And when you hear a snap like that, you can see it's connected now. And it's just like that. Okay, now it's time to move it out. Ready, Thomas? Okay, you're clear to depart. Okay, that about wraps it up for this review video. I hope you adults and kids enjoyed it, and if your kids are interested in something like this, you might be able to find this on eBay or other websites that sell products like this. And when these were in stores, they were retailed at prices of the $20 to $30 range, which I find a pretty good price considering the amount of work it takes to make something like this, to be remote controlled and all. Anyway, I'm Toby Passman, and I will see you next time. Oh, and by the way, here's a surprise for your children.